These people are the self-destruction, stop the violence movement, and you're about to watch the self-destruction video.
Peace.
Peace.
Hollywood, look out.
We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is
Stop the Violence was a freestyle because every time we went to do a show, somebody would start acting stupid. So we'd have something to say even as that was going on because the music never stopped. So I wrote it as a freestyle, but then we never really did it because, you know, it just never came around. We never had the opportunity to set it up right and do it. So I met these kids that made this beat. The beat goes bo 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 bo. Well, the original musicians, I met them. They had a crew called Jam Rock Massive. Jam Rock Massive put out Stop the Violence, the first record, as a bootleg because we did it together. And I said, if in fact I sell the record somewhere, I'll give you some credit on it and some points. We'll work out a deal. They did the music. I wrote the song and then mixed it. By that time I had signed the job and I said, well, yo, that's still my record. Yo, what's up? They said, well, we want X amount of dollars and so on for the record. So I said, of course, we had nothing signed. I just said, all right, I'll just drop it and leave it at that. You do what you want with that, and I'm gonna do what I want with this. So I went and started my Stop the Violence beat, which is do-do-dum-dum, do-do-do-dum, do-do-do-do-do-do. I went and put that out on the By All Means Necessary LP. What happened is that record became, of course, larger than the bootleg. And it became like a little anthem within hip-hop music. Stop the Violence in hip-hop, YO, okay. What happened is, jumped on the Dope Jam tour, rocking the Dope Jam tour. The last show of the Dope Jam tour was at Nassau Coliseum. Nassau Coliseum was like the most packed show out ever. It was like, you know, the show of shows for that session of time. But what happened was that the security, due to some other stuff, the security had quit on the tour. And when they quit, we had no security at Nassau Coliseum. You have Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island, Long Island, Jersey in the house. They started bugging. What happened was this kid got killed over a gold chain there. Out of all the many things that went on that night, that seemed to be the zenith of the ignorance. He died because of his gold chain, stabbed in the heart, I think it was.
We were watching the concert, Boogie Down Production was performing, and the next thing I know, it just, a whole bunch of people just crowded into the corridor, but nothing had happened yet. So, you know, they had, one guy had saw me with my gold on, so he reached for my bracelet, one of my bracelets, because my hand was on the railing, and he grabbed for one of my bracelets. So when I turned, I grabbed him. And once I grabbed him, a whole crowd rushed behind me. When I turned around to see the crowd, it was just bodies flying at me. So I just ducked down. When I ducked down, they just piled on top of me. And I didn't realize I was stabbed until until everything had, you know, it was all over. But by this time, my bracelet was gone, 3 chains were gone, my gold watch was gone, and a friend of mine had got hit, and because he was trying to help me out. Next thing I know, a friend of mine tells me all of this blood is on my pants, and I turn around and I lift my shirt up and blood just starts gushing out. So I go to the first aid office. When I go into the first aid office, it's crowded, you know, full of people that have been stabbed and cut, and you know, it's like, so it had to be like a little SWAT team going around, you know, cutting people up, stabbing them up, you know, that's crazy.
When I heard about the murder,
at the Nassau Coliseum, I was really shocked, and I knew what had happened because I had been at a previous show there about a couple of weeks before, which had been a PE show, and Run DMC had been on that show, which had been, I think it had been about a month before the Dope Jam show. And I saw the security guards watching violence and not doing anything. I saw the fact that the security guards disappeared at certain times in the show. So I saw the fact basically it was a very, inside the arena, the criminal element had control. Once you got outside, you saw mounted police on horses, etc., who were basically swinging at anything that was in the crowd, not at the criminal element, but at just kids in general. So I saw the fact that basically the manpower at the arena, in my opinion, had either been unwilling or afraid, for some reason, to really provide real security for the paying patrons, the people who come to see the show. So when I heard about the murder, which occurred about a month or so later at the Dope Jam show, I knew what had happened. I mean, there was no question in my mind what it went down. And I knew also how it would be played. It was not going to be played as an incident of inadequate security, which is what it was. And it was at many of these rap shows. It's an incident of they were going to say it was an incident of black-on-black violence, of rap violence, and that's the phrase that was utilized.
You go to Bruce Springsteen concert, and you don't see any white boys killing each other, but you know, in a rap concert where the audience is predominantly black, it's all of this black-on-black crime, and it's like, you know, it's like a sickness that I think nobody's really paying attention to how deep, you know, the ramifications of that is. So it was really, really frustrating. You know, matter of fact, while I was on stage, I think that was the worst performance I had on the whole tour, because I was like tense, I wasn't loose, and it was almost to the point like I wanted to get on stage and preach.
That they would kill somebody else's black over something like gold, you know, that they gonna sell probably to get some drugs or to get some money that they gonna use up in next week, and then they gonna go out and do it again. You know, it's just like a cycle. You know, it makes no sense, not to me.
It's time for people in the rap music industry to begin to address not only their image problem, but the real issues that are causing the problem for the community. And so we decided to start the Stop the Violence movement.
We as adult black Americans have a large problem because we are not role models in our homes. We are not heroes, and we need to become heroes.
The artist response was incredible. I was not at all, I didn't want to approach any mainstream R&B people because I knew what it would be. It would be, I got to talk to my manager, my booking agent, my record company's right from the image. The people in rap knew what it was about immediately, and the response was incredible. We had to keep people off the record in order to try and get it done. That was that kind of response. And that's why we're able to do a video like we're able to do this music video, because they got up early in the morning, which rappers are not known for. Was there to do the job and to make the statement they wanted to make.
I know we're in Harlem. Where? Harlem. This is Harlem? Yeah, this is Harlem. What do you think this is?
I figured that it's time that we spoke up about this, you know, from the artist's point of view.
And we just feel that one of the primary duties of a rapper in this day and age is to become a positive role model in the minds and in the hearts of the children, because a lot of these kids don't have positive role models to look up to. In most neighborhoods, drug dealers are a role model. So, you know, if we could continue to do projects like this, then we show them something to look forward to.
We're totally against black-on-black crime, you know. I mean, it's so ridiculous in this day and time that our own brothers and sisters has got to pick up arms against one another. You know, we're killing ourselves off, man. And this is a definite message to all the young people.
We strongly believe that, you know, violence is nonsense, and you got to get together as one. And if you look around, you see a whole lot of different type of rappers here getting together to prove that everybody can get together.
That's the first time this has really happened, because you know a lot of these brothers won't even speak to each other. You know what I'm saying? So the beauty of this is that regardless if we disagree on 99 things, we agree on one, that we need to come together.
We want to let the youth know that there are alternatives to crime in your community. There are alternatives to having disrespect for your brother and your sister. African Americans must come to the realization that if we do not help ourselves in this regard, we will be the greatest. We will bear the brunt of crime as it affects us.
I would have to say that there were several times during the recording of the record and the shooting of the video that I just didn't think it was going to happen.
The camera's going to be on a crane coming along this way, catching y'all as each of you do the lyrics. So you got to sit in the order that you kick the lyrics on the song, right? And then when it goes all the way to the end, to the last person, it's going to come up to show the crowd in the background. Okay, so it's important that you guys are sitting down in the right order. That's what I'm trying to get right now.
Sitting?
Yeah, seated here. That's how it's going to start. That's one of the master shots. All right?
What's setting up for the shot? We need you now.
Miss Melody's right over here.
We need you over here. And Doug?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Miss Melody.
What's up? This is going out to all the youth. You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know, a lot of people that look up to us. So we are role models. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do the right thing in front of them at all times. We got to say the right things in front of them at all times. And we got to try to teach them to strive for perfection, because that is the right direction. And if anything is wrong, then we will make a correction. And how we do that? Because we have the detection. You know what I'm saying? And that's what time it is, so we'll add it to the collection.
Slide down, guys.
To where?
Slide down, we got to separate.
Flay, you over here. You over here, Flay.
The idea of the video shoot itself just seemed to be so massive because we were going from place to place and we had so many artists and all the artists had their entourages with them, and I just don't know how they kept it together. I don't know how the people at Classic Concepts kept us all together, because between Nelson and I, we were like, you know, nervous wrecks.
We need a lane free. We need a nice space in there.
It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging. It's one or two suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. You get caught in the mid. So to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you could unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives.
Pop, 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 when it's shot, who's to blame? Headline, front page, and raps the name. MC Delight here to state the bottom line. The black on black crime was way before our time.
Took a brother's life with a knife as his wife cried, cause he died a trifling death when he left his very last breath. Was I slept, so watch your step. Back in the 60s, our brothers and sisters were hanged. How could you gang bang? I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man, cause that's self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
I would say Miss Melody, D-Nice, and probably some of the Stetsasonic brothers were the ones, Wise and Fuquan were the ones who the most debate was about. Because certain elements of people who wanted to be involved in the record felt that they weren't large enough. Miss Melody's record hadn't come out yet. And D-Nice had been working with Chris, but it wasn't acknowledged on his own yet. And I remember Miss Melody just being very pleasant and dealing with it very well. D-Nice had a lot more problems because he had a lot more conflicts. There was actually some conflicts that went on in the making of the record, and D-Nice was at the center of one of the conflicts. In fact, to this day, he has a rivalry of some kind with one of the other rappers involved in the project, which is interesting.
What's up? My name is Derek, but they call me D-Nice, and I am the producer of Self-Destruction. That came about because Chris, which y'all know as KRS-One, he really didn't have time to do the music, so he basically asked me to come up with a beat for it. And I came up with the beat that y'all hear. We submitted tapes to everyone to see how they liked it. A lot of people said it was okay, and they thought it can be better. And they really criticized me a lot for it, but I really thank them, because without their criticism, I really wouldn't have went back in the studio and did the best job that I thought I can do. You know, it would have been just that.
This is all about no doubt without violence. But first, let's have a moment of silence.
Dougie, again, someone everyone wanted to have on there, but it was hard getting a hold of him all the time. And when he came in, I never forget, he came in the night, he listened to the track after some other people had laid down their raps, and he wasn't totally with it. And Hank Shockley, who was associate producer, was there that night. And Hank actually and he sat in the studio and did some things. They really did some things with the track, because they had been working on Dougie's album. And Dougie, his section, the whole, he actually gave us a bridge. I mean, the record needed a bridge, and his section is actually the bridge to the record, because it has a kind of change of pace and his own instrumental stuff. Quite brilliant. I mean, Doug really came in. He had a feeling it needed to be more danceable, and he made sure that it worked. I mean, I think that his section, again, is one of the highlights. And that whole idea of using his voice and all that stuff in a moment of silence, that's all his, and it's all Dougie, and it's again, I think, again, some of his best work, actually.
Restated, educated, evaluated, thoughts of the past have faded. The only thing left is the memories of our belated. And I hate it when someone dies.
It doesn't make you a big man, and you want and go and dish your brother, man, and you don't know that's part of the plan.
Music is a field, the man understands. Self-destruction, never self-destruction.
I mixed the record. Took me 2 days to mix it. I stayed in the studio for like about 36 hours, you know, straight, just to make sure that everybody on the record could have their own spotlight, even though they were already established artists. But I wanted to make it seem more than just everyone's rapping on this one record. So I'd switch the beat under, like if Public Enemy was rapping, I'd put Funky Drummer, you know, since they're known for using Funky Drummer and rocking it in various ways, I'd put Funky Drummer under it. And when Step was rhyming, I put what was Talking All That Jazz under while Step was rhyming. And, you know, same thing goes with Light and Heavy D.
Here's the situation. Idiocy, nonsense, violence. Not a good policy, therefore we must ignore fighting and fussing. Heaven's at the door, so there'll be no bum rushing. Let's get together because we're falling apart. I heard a brother shot another, it broke my heart. I don't understand the difficulty, people. Love your brother, treat him as an equal. They call us animals, I don't agree with them. I'll prove them wrong, but right is what you're proving them. Take heed before I leave to what I'm saying, or we'll all be on our knees praying.
I remember being at a concert in Madison Square Garden. Heavy, how do I get on this record? Who do I have to talk to get on this record? I want to be on the record. He was like that about it. And when he came into the studio, his rap was already written. He and Kumo D were probably the two most professional and on point. And when I say they came in, they had their stuff ready, they did it, boom, they were in and out, just real sharp. The Stop the Violence record is really, I think we'll go down in history if you look at it, is a record which represents the New York mentality of rap and also the New York mentality of street life culture. I mean, the record really reflects the fact that people in New York went through their gangster stage. I mean, we don't have the gangs in New York in the late 80s, early 90s that they have in other parts of the country. For some reason, the chemistry here has not brought that about. And so we have a lot more consciousness. The whole Malcolm X movement, Afrocentricity, all of these positive things, understanding or appreciation of Islam as part of the continuity of religion, and that Christianity is not the only religion. All these different themes that are going through black culture, you can see that are reflected in self-destruction. And I think that's one of the things that's going to be good about it in the long run, that it's a document of a certain mentality that was going on.
Scott LaRock was like the original founder of Boogie Down Productions, him along with Chris. And you know, it was a real sad thing. It was a big loss. And he was kinda, you know, coming there for me. You know, that's one of the reasons why it happened. And I would never forget him. And I hope nobody out there ever forget him. You know, as long as I make records, people will know who Scott, you know, who he was.
Scott was down for that message also, you know. It's just a shame he died under the same circumstances that self-destruction is trying to prevent.
After he passed, you know, Chris didn't really want to get anyone else to DJ, so he basically put me in to do that job. So it was kind of bug how it happened, you know.
You know, I came down to do this for the best. This is my man KRS-One. Why he's KRS-One? Because there's only one KRS, boy.
But there is a couple of delights, and here's one of them.
That's
MC
right.
Delight. Cool now.
That's right. And then they got Chicken Delight.
Mark, he's gonna just do a few. You heard somebody else, and as soon as he comes in, you gotta start to go up to the camera. I'm gonna start raising.
After I do on the part where I say, come on, right? I say, come on, and start coming down this way.
You say the joint is like this.
Okay.
The camera's starting to go up, right? Alright, so then, but you still do the same move. You still go here.
Yeah, so I'll just end up right here.
Right.
So we got to keep ourselves and something else is bang.
Right.
You really got an insight into how PE works, because Chuck had written out both their parts, Flavor's as well as his, and even the way it would be phrased, it was amazing. And he cut his vocal without, and he even did like Flavor's part, and then Flavor came in and overdubbed his part more or less. And the Classic Concepts crew can attest. We had to go out, because we never did get Chuck to the master shot. So we ended up getting Chuck, taping him out at the old recording radio station where they started in college, out of the Delphi, along with him in Terminator X. And actually it worked out very well visually. It gave us another element for the piece, though at the time we thought it was going to be a disaster, and it worked out very well.
Spread out! Spread out! Everybody spread out! Spread out! Spread out! Spread out! Spread out! What up the peace sign?
Job to build and collect ourselves with intellect. To revolve, to evolve to self-respect. Cause we got to keep ourselves in check, or else it's self-destruction.
Self-destruction! Self-destruction! Up, 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 up!
Let's say a parent comes home and wants to play as Anita Baker, or she wants to play Anita Baker, and the child comes home and wants to play his or her Kool Moe Dee, and the parent will say, you know, like, why don't you cut that down? But the parent will go into his or her room, if the parent is around, and be what he or she is into. Therefore, because of the parent neglecting to communicate with his or her child, Kool Moe Dee takes the place of the parent, because the communication process is taking place. Kool Moe Dee is communicating something across to that child that the child can relate to.
Tuffy's tagging from the better like he was told.
In the blue, you need 2 sheets. It's half blue. 2 sheets makes a full blue. You know.
First, Ann didn't want me to get down with this because she said my image was like a gangster. And she said she didn't want nobody that had an image like that to get down with this. And we convinced her that I was right for it, because I felt like if the younger people and kids could see me in a Stop the Violence video, maybe they know it's for real.
Start tight on him, but as he comes up, start to motivate him. Sit down. Like this. Head on the dollar so we can walk this move out. Starts the lyrics like this. Alright? Then he gets up, comes to me. Keep on walking to me. Walk. Slowly. When you're in him full by the time he gets out of that gate.
This is a tool that is underutilized. Rappers are talking to the kids, and the kids are listening.
Straight from the mouth of why and daddy, yo. Do a crime, end up in jail, it gotta go. Cause you could do
crime and get paid today, and tomorrow you're behind bars in the worst way.
Far from your family.
Cause you're locked away.
Now tell me.
Do you really think crime pays?
Keeping on taking what your brother had, you little sucker.
You talking all that jazz.
Yeah, that's right.
I first got involved with the Stop the Violence program when Chris had originally done Stop the Violence, and Ian Carlin, Nelson George thought that it would be a good idea if they incorporated various artists to kind of like spread the message a little further.
I'm Miss Melody and I'm a boy ghetto. The bombs in that one season say, if we want to develop and grow to another level, we can't be guinea pigs for the devil. The enemy knows they're no fool because everyone knows the hip hop rules, so we got to.
I lost it. I almost fell off the chair.
No problem. No problem.
My part in the song is almost self-explanatory. I say that the violence in rap, I'm speaking of rap because that's where my career is. My life is in rap. And I want to let the rap audience know that the violence incorporated in our little clique, we have to stop it. And it has to start with the artists. And, you know, even if you don't stop it at once, they hear the message.
Self-destruction. You have for self-destruction. Self-destruction. I'm Miss Melody and I'm a boy ghetto. The bombs in that one season say, if we want to develop and grow to another level, we can't be guinea pigs for the devil. The enemy knows they're no fools because everyone knows the hip hop rules. So we gotta get it and grab what's wrong. The opposition is weak and rap is strong. This is all about no doubt the South Violence. How's right? Be nice.
That's it. Did you go home? No? No.
Hi again.
Hi, how are you?
All
You know something? Every time I turn around, you're always in my face. Cut.
Today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience is bugging. It's one of two suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. You get caught in the mid. So to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you can unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives.
Pop, when a shot, who's to blame? Headlines, front page, and rap's the name. MC to light, here to state the bottom line. The black on black crime is way before time.
Super rough black with a knife, let's fight. Try.
Delight was really, again, who came to a lot of meetings, was very involved. His speech at the press conference was one of the best. Just quite good and quite dedicated to the idea. I was impressed with that a lot. Daddy-O as well.
This particular project here, Self-Destruction, is dealing with specifically black-on-black violence.
Black on black crime, man, we only hurt ourselves. We make ourselves look like fools, and you got to stop the killing of each other, putting our bloods in the street, black on black crime, stealing from each other. Like the Kumo D said, you know, it's a shame that we got to run from another black man.
Like the guys that are stealing and robbing are not even looking at it as a black on black thing. They're just, going for theirs and like, I'm gonna get as much jewelry or as much money as I can. And they're not looking at what they're doing to the race as a whole.
Basically what this is simply saying is, of course we're not trying to front, we're not telling the kids, we made a record about self-destruction, so you should stop the violence. Nonsense. We're telling more the police officers and the industry that there's a more serious side to rap music than, yo man, blah, 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 talking about nothing. As you can see, everybody here is down for the cause, everybody here is rocking sincerely.
think Chris has been the most consistent person in hip-hop and articulating a non-violent but realistic approach to dealing with these issues. I mean, Chris uses violent imagery, but it's very clear from his music, unlike a lot of other people who use violent images, this is a message, and the point, he uses violence to illustrate a point of information. He's very, very good at doing that. And, I mean, I don't think there would have been a record, Stop the Violence Movement or Self-Destruction without Chris's participation.
It's one or two suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. We get caught in the middle, so to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you can unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause, the way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives. Pop, 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 what a shot, who's to blame? Headline, front page, and rap, the main. MC, the right here, state the bottom line. The black on black crime, way before our time.
Trying to rock with a knife that's right. Try to die.
No, we have, because he's the opening. He's the opening. I'm not gonna come out of the album.
Everyone, thank you very much. You all did fine. We just need to get some close-ups of D-Nice and Just Ice. Everyone else. And of
See,
course,
she
Miss
even rhymes
Melody.
when she talks and she knows what she's doing.
So we're done. Thank you very much.
Live from New York. I don't care you in LA, I don't care you in Miami, I don't care you in Houston, I don't care you in Chicago, I don't care you in Detroit, I don't care you in Bangladesh. But wherever it goes, stop the violence. This is all I got to say.
It was like self-destruction in addition to the Jack of Spades movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker movie. Gold Chains went out of season. Big Thick Chains was gone now. A more intelligent look came about the rap industry. And personally, I believe that it's because of movements like Boogie Down Productions, Stop the Violence Movement, Public Enemy, that has saved rap music, literally. If rap had gone on with its egotistical, sexist attitude, it would be dead right now. You'd be talking to Anthrax instead of Boogie Down Productions. But what happened was the consciousness of rap has been changed due to these movements. And people are really, whether it's a fad or true, people are looking to find themselves. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that jumped off, specifically coming out of the hand of the Stop the Violence movement, specifically. It was a movement, it was a fad that it was intelligence as a fad. And fads are laws, period.
A bad parent, a father alcoholic, a mother crackhead, that should be an example for us all the young people in here. It should serve as an example for what we should not be. Because we can use the bad example, right, as a strong leg to push on to something different, something positive. You see, because y'all the bridge to the next generation. So you got to be the best type of parent that y'all can be. You got to go back on that corner like my man Daddy O said and pick up that black book and get an identity for yourself. Because once you have an identity for yourself, then you can establish a direction.
I guess I got involved through Nelson George because of I Crammed Understand You, which was like a pitch for no drugs because of Hamhead Sam.
Light was a first choice of everybody. Everyone, the minute we came with the idea, we wanted Light. Because she done Crammed Understand You, Sam, which was a great anti-crack record. And she had a certain kind of homegirl vulnerability and just credibility that we thought was essential for the record to work.
That's nice. You got this area pretty nice. You got to kind of work down a little bit.
Put one in the middle of the sun.
Please get out of the street, thank you. I gave all the statistics, a lot of stuff that actually appears in the video, I gave out to the artist when they were making up their raps. And she had come back with a rap which was very fact-based. And then she heard Kool Moe Dee's rap and a couple of others. She said, no. Mine is too, in fact, I need to have more flavor to it. And so she was in the studio one night just trying to come up with her rap. And the same night, this was at Chung King. So LL Cool J was doing his Panther album downstairs in one of the other rooms. So he came in And they had this like playful banter going on. He would come in and flirt with her, and then he would give her a couple of lines, and he'd walk out. Then he'd come back 15 minutes later and flirt with her some more and give her another line. And she was like, just stay here and say, what did you say? What did you say? It was really funny. She was writing down what he said. So it was really, really a funny scene. Because he wouldn't be on the record, but he wanted to be on the record. So finally he ended up giving her some of the best lines. And she took what she already had and mixed in his lines. Her rap is really a combination of her and LL, their only known collaboration.
Before I started rapping, I used to party a lot, and I know that's a scared feeling to be inside a club. You know, you come in to see somebody that you like to perform or whatever, or like to see perform, and then you have to start running from something. You don't know what it is because the crowd is like going crazy or whatever, so it's kind of hectic. It's wild.
And what about when you're on stage? How do you feel when you're on stage? Like last night, did a fight break out when you were there and you were on stage?
Yeah, in North Carolina. And they had to push me off of the stage, so I didn't feel anything but hands pushing me. So, I mean, it's like depressing, sort of, to see these things happen.
It's like you pay your money to go see a show, but you end up seeing a boxing match. You want to see a rap show. It's like frustrating, man. You know, people get scared to go places now. You can't sit around, do nothing without somebody trying to threaten your life or something.
You know, people don't even think when they start fighting. They just fight.
On the court. Everyone come back. I gotta get these people away. You're gonna start over here. You're gonna start right over here like this. Now hold it. That's why the split is important to get. You gotta get like, all right. No, you're fine. You're right over here. You're gonna start like right over here and come in like this to the camera. That's how you start your line. All right. So you're blocked here. You come in, and then I want you to see how you play it. All these people are turned. They only their backs are to you. You have this show canceled, the Latin Quarter closed through the violence. You got to kind of relate the lyrics to where you are. But your movement can only be like right here, come back this far, come in, you know, but I don't want you to go all the way back here, all right? You ever like, you know, want to like make a point to Kane, he's back, turn it back. Like that. Yeah, if you want to make a point to Kane, you just go like that, and he's going to turn around, you know. Not the vibe or whatever. But as soon as the music starts, I want everybody's back to be turned this way. Only when lights start to self-destruction.
Funky fresh dressed to impress, ready to party. Money in your pocket, dying to move your body. To get inside, you pay the whole $10. Scotch tape with a razor blade, taped to your collar. Leave the guns in the crack and the knobs alone. MC lights on the microphone, bum rushing and pushing, snatching and taxing. I can't understand why brothers don't be maxing. There's only one disco, they'll close one more. You ain't guarding the door, so what you got a gun for? Do you rob the rich and give to the poor? Yo, daddy, yo, shoot some more.
This straight from the mouth, and daddy.
Self-destruction, headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction, headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction, headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction, headed for self-destruction.
I believe in people, basically, and a lot of people think that's a really stupid, corny thing to do, and you're just going to get slapped down for doing it. This project, this record, the whole Stop the Violence movement has proved my point that people are the very, very thing that you should believe in, because that's what made this whole project happen. Everybody donating their time, arguing back and forth about how to do it, giving of themselves creatively. That's how this record happened. I think that's the best thing that came out of it.
I'd like to take this opportunity to give you a few of the details of the actual record. It was released on Martin Luther King's birthday this year, and on that day it played on about 50 radio stations across the country at 12 noon as a tribute to Dr. King. Since its release, we've had gross orders of about 100,000 units. That's combined 12-inch singles and cassette singles. And this week I'm happy to say that we were the Hot Shot debut entry in the Billboard Black Singles Chart. The record has also been released in the UK, where it's entered the pop charts at 75 this week, and it's scheduled for release in countries across Europe as well as Japan. All proceeds from this record, both domestic and worldwide, will be donated to the National Urban League's programs involved in black and black crime and youth education.
These young people are united, bonded by a common cause to communicate the idea that crime is no longer acceptable in the African American community. We are all known to statistics. We have been victimized either directly or indirectly by crime. When compared to white Americans, it is a fact that African Americans are twice as likely to be victims of violent crimes and twice as likely to be robbed. 90% of robberies against blacks are committed by other blacks. 85% of the assaults in the black community are blacks assaulting blacks. 95% of all homicides are committed by blacks and are against other blacks. In fact, for African Americans, males ages 16 to 34, the leading cause of death is murder or homicide. Quite simply, if you think black on black crime isn't your problem, we say you should think again.
Where Flavor?
Hey, Ricky. I don't know, you should have been.
Damn, where Flavor? You gonna walk me crazy or what?
We're doing something on the Stop the Violence campaign in rap, stopping black on black crime, stopping gang violence, drug-related violence, all unnecessary violence. Stop it right now.
Back up.
Back it up, please. Back it up, please.
Back up.
All right, watch your back, folks. Watch your back. Now, let's get it up. Come on, just get in your front.
You got carried on the slope. All the people that's going to die.
Everybody say stop the violence! Everybody say stop the violence! That's what we did. A bunch of rappers got together and we put together a song to stop the violence. We here to stop black on black crime. Cause we ain't with y'all killing and robbing each other. Y'all understand that? Y'all understand that? Alright, so you understand that that fist that you got up in the air is not to fight and kill your brother and sister, right? Alright, once again, everybody say stop the violence! Stop the violence!
The goal of the Stop the Violence movement is to make educators aware of the ability and willingness of rap artists to teach and reach the folks they say are unteachable and unreachable. Linking rap artists with the National Urban League surprised some people. But making the Urban League beneficiary of the Stop the Self-Destruction proceeds is not just good public relations. It is a black collection of black artists working with a black institution to deal with a black problem. It's a sort of social self-help that is essential in this era of social irresponsibility by the government. That's why we have the Stop the Violence movement.
We've made a lot of kids aware in a way that reached them about the problems of violence among people, about the problems of what happens if you don't take responsibility for yourself.
I think the most tangible thing is obviously the book, which is basically a collection of, I did a couple of essays. One is a history of how we made the record. Another is You Must Learn, which deals with the idea of education, self-awareness, and education as a tool against ignorance and a tool against violence. Which, in this part of that, we have a reading list supplied by Chuck D, KRS-One, and myself of books we recommend for young people to read. And there's another section in it that's inspired by Kumo D's rap, which deals with the whole question of black on black crime, and uses the whole analogy of the Ku Klux Klan that he started in his rap. And then also, I think most powerfully, are the letters from young people around the country, which were received as a result of a contest we had with Word Up magazine. Some of the letters, amazing stuff, in terms of just dealing with the experiences of kids, and 13, 14-year-old kids who've seen relatives murdered, have seen people, bullets fly into their house. I mean, reading the letters the first time around, it really, when you hear a letter from a 13-year-old kid who's seen his cousin shot in front of his eyes, it really touches you. And I think that the letters in there that we use excerpts of were, some were quite amazing.
For the first time in probably nonprofit history, something directly towards the African, for the African, has been done specifically. In the future, we'll broaden it towards humanity, but this particular record and movement went specifically towards the African, I think.
But again, I think what really, for me, the idea, stop the violence, self-destruction, putting those ideas out in a world where kids are confronted with Rambo and images of violence, and violence is celebrated, not by black media, but by the mainstream of Hollywood, and try and give them something else to deal with. I mean, if you talk about violence, when you see a rapper in a video with a gun, he doesn't have the gun necessarily because the dope man has a gun. He has a gun because everything in American culture tells him that to be a man is to have a gun. That to be Sly, to be Arnold, to be even Eddie Murphy, you know, to be any of these icons of the culture, to be John Wayne, to be Don Johnson, is to have a gun and to be able to enforce your will through violence. That's the kind of mentality we're fighting. We're not just fighting a ghetto mentality at all. We're fighting a cultural mentality that's celebrated every Saturday night in this country. So a record like Self-Destruction is an attempt to try and deal not just with a black-on-black thing, though that's the nutshell. It's trying to deal with, we have a culture which celebrates violence as a way to manhood. So, I mean, it's not a black thing. This is one thing, it's not a black thing. It's an American thing. Bottom line, as long as there's poverty, as long as there's poor education, as long as there's no opportunities, there will be violence. Poverty creates violence. Whether you're in Ireland, Beirut, Johannesburg, or Cleveland, poverty creates violence. That's just the way it's always been in the world. What you have to try and do, and what things like this try and do, is say, look, you know, the social conditions lead you to steal, lead you to do other things, but you have to try and fight that. Because the bottom line, for me, is that it's a moral decision. There's always these moments of decision in your life where you decide what you're going to do. And if we can do anything to put an idea out there that's going to make you make a decision other than to do violence, then we've done something good.
So listen, the children, for the children and for all the kids, you know, y'all striving the way of progress. We'll show you as much as we can along the way. You know, you got 125th Street, you got Harlem, you got a lot. There's a man out on the corner selling black books right now. You have to do what you have to do in order to learn about yourself and your culture. So y'all keep on striving. To the parents, in the words of Pee Wee Herman, I know who I am. Who are you?
We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction.
Well, today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging. It's one or two suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. You get caught in the mid. So to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you could unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives.
Pop, 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 when it's shot, who's to blame? Headline, front page, and raps the name. MC Delight here to state the bottom line. The black on black crime was way before our time.
Took a brother's life with a knife as his wife cried cause he died a trifling death when he left his very last breath. Was I slept, so watch your step. Back in the 60s, our brothers and sisters were hanged. How could you gangbang? I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man, cause that's
self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
tres, cuatro.
Funky fresh dressed to impress, ready to party. Money in your pocket, dying to move your body. To get inside, you pay the whole $10. Scotch tape with a razor blade taped to your collar. Leave the guns in the crack and the knives alone. MC lights on the microphone, bum rushing and pushing, snatching and taxing. I crammed understand why brothers don't be maxing. There's only one disco, they'll close one more. You ain't guarding the door, so what you got a gun for? Do you rob the rich and give to the poor? Yo, daddy-o, school him some more.
Spit straight from the mouth.
Why?
And daddy-o,
Do a crime,
end up in jail and gotta go.
Cause you could do crime and get paid today.
And tomorrow you're behind bars in the worst way.
Far from your family.
Cause you're locked away.
Now tell me,
do you really think crime pays?
scheming on taking what your brother had?
You little sucker.
You talking all that jazz.
It's time to stand together in a unity. Cause if not, then we're soon to be self-destroyed, unemployed. The rap race will be lost without a trace or a clue. But what to do is stop the violence and kick the science down the road that we call eternity, where knowledge is formed and you learn to be self-sufficient, independent. To teach to each is what rap intended, but society wants to invade. So do not walk this path that they laid. It's self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. D-Nice, break it down like this. Children growing, women producing, men go working, some do stealing. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction.
I'm Miss Melody and I'm a born-again rebel. The violence in rap must cease and settle. If we want to develop and grow to another level, we can't be guinea pigs for the devil. The enemy knows they're no fools because everyone knows the hip-hop rules. So we gotta get a grip and grab what's wrong. The opposition is weak and rap is strong.
This is all about, no doubt, to stop violence. But first, let's have a moment of silence. Swing. Things been stated, re-educated, evaluated. Thoughts of the past have faded. The only thing left is the memories of our belated. And I hate it when someone dies to get all hurt up for a silly gold chain by chump. Word up. It doesn't make you a big man. And you wanna go and dish your brother, man. And you don't know that's part of the plan. Why? Cause rap music is in full demand. Understand? Self-destruction. Self-destruction.
My name is Just Ice, a man, not a prankster. I was known as the gangster, but believe me, that is no fun. The time is now to unite everyone. You don't have to be soft to be for peace. Robbing and killing and murdering is the least. You don't have to be chained by the beast. But party people, it's time I release.
Hey yo, here's the situation.
Idiocy, nonsense, violence, not a good policy. Therefore, we must ignore fighting and fussing. Heaven's at the door, so there'll be no bum rushing. Let's get together because we're falling apart. I heard a brother shot another, it broke my heart. I don't understand the difficulty, people. Love your brother, treat him as an equal. They call us animals, I don't agree with them. I'll prove it wrong, but right is what you're proving them. Take heed before I leave to what I'm saying, or we'll all be on our knees praying.
Heavy deep in the heart of the matter. The self-destruction is served on a platter, making a day, not failing to anticipate. They got greedy, so they fell for the bait. That makes them a victim, picked and plucked. New jack in jail, but to the vets they're a duck. There's no one around, cause in jail you're a number. They never took the time to wonder about
self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
Yes, we urge to merge. We live for the love of our people, the hope they get along.
Yeah, so we get a song.
Getting a point to our brothers and sisters who don't know the time.
Boy, so we run around.
Instead in your heads, you know our job to build and collect ourselves with intellect. To revolve, to evolve to self-respect. Cause we got to keep ourselves in check, or else it's
self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
Produces goodwill. That in turn allows you space to chill. When working hard, you have to take a break. Yin and yang is the balance you make. Using drugs will just break the chain. Instability is what you'll gain, but the joy of life is in life itself. Praising God brings health and wealth. It seems that everyone is for themselves, creating mischief like little elves. Where's the unity? Dr. King complained. Did you ever see him wearing a fat gold chain? It's hard to believe the shape we're in. With black fighting black, who the hell could win? Not us, cause all we think about is me. We're not going anywhere without unity. See, we're playing a game that's set by the man, and because of our greed, we don't give a damn. We live in the ghetto, but still drive a Benz when it